My first guest tonight says the latest acts of terror point to the failed vetting processes and visa system under the Obama administration. Joining me now, former Pentagon official, Fox News national security analyst, KT McFarland. KT, great to have you here. Donald Trump has called for extreme vetting, period, on those who would be coming to us from countries where jihadism is taking place or has a history of radical Islamist terror. What is going on when we see these attacks are growing with greater frequency and have over the last 3 years? It's truly remarkable.
Well, not only that, but there's an additional story today, which is that 800 immigrants who wanted to come here, they were going to be deported. Instead of being deported, they somehow magically got citizenship. And these are people who were not vetted, who were from countries that are known sponsors of terrorism. And so I think Donald Trump was right at the very beginning when he said, there's something going on here. We need to figure out what it is. How are we vetting these people? How are we giving citizenship to people who cannot be vetted? And the people who come into this country on legal visas somehow stay and get lost and then cause problems.
Later in the broadcast, we're going to be going through the Inspector General's report, in which it's revealed not only of hundreds have been given citizenship this year instead of being deported as ordered, but hundreds the previous years. We don't know what the total is, but they rise into in excess of 100,000 people whose fingerprints cannot be found and who are suspected as being criminal illegal immigrants. I want to turn to ISIS, claiming responsibility for the terrorism in Minnesota, KT, but we were watching again increasing frequency, 5 this year, 5 terrorist events on American soil.
Well, and the administration treats it as one-off things, or as lone wolves, don't worry about it, or as law enforcement issues.
Or ignore it.
Or ignores it and doesn't even want to talk about it, won't even call it what it is. And yet, at the same time, ISIS has already declared they've opened a second front in this fight. The second front is in Western civilization, in Europe, and now in the United States. And they don't actually even have to be here to do that. They're able to reach, with social media, over the national borders and deep in and find these people who are disaffected. They recruit them, they inspire them, and then they train them online, and then terrorist acts are committed. So we're not even looking there.
In a stroke, it's a surprising stroke because it's going to bring together the president of Egypt, al-Sisi, and Donald Trump, the Republican nominee for president in this country. What do you make of it?
I think it's a pretty significant thing. Trump has talked several times about supporting those people in the Muslim world who come out and speak out against terrorism and against extremism. He's mentioned Sisi by name, and the fact that the two of them are meeting, I think, is significant for both sides. Not only for Trump to look at a future world leader, if he's going to have to deal with this, and that Sisi would be the sort of centerpiece of an anti-terrorist strategy, but it's smart of Sisi, too.
It is smart of Sisi, particularly since this administration, the Obama administration, had insisted on Muslim Brotherhood participation in the new government that he created. A strange moment. Now there's been estranged relations between Egypt and the United States because the leader of a sovereign nation, President Sisi, would not do what President Obama wanted him to do.
I was in Egypt.
He seems to have that trouble with foreign leaders,
time and again.
Senate.
I met Sisi right after the so-called coup, and that was a man who understood he has a terrorist problem, and he was getting no support from the Obama administration. So I do think it's quite curious that Sisi is meeting with both Secretary Clinton and Donald Trump.
KT McFarland, great to have you here.
Thank you.